Okay, so Hamza, I think we are almost there. So I think maybe you can start with your introduction and start with your session. I'll hand it over to you. Um, thank you. We can start. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
to
no,
say
no.
just give me. I'm just gonna
Oh,
run
that's
the
fine. Take your time. No
session.
worries. Whenever you are ready, just.
1 second. Just starting my presentation button here.
Also, I'm recording this session, so this way the people who miss, they can go through it later.
So, um, the Mac needs more permissions. It now. Awesome. Can you see my screen now?
Not yet. Oh, yeah, I can see that now. Yes. Thank you.
Awesome. Super. So, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining. This is a very close topic to my heart, so I'll try to do my best with this topic. A little more about me. I'm a Salesforce MVP and a certified system and application architect. I'm working as a director of product development at Cloud Nutrition Advisors. Ecosystem for around 10 years now. And before coming to Salesforce ecosystem, I've been doing backend development on the PHP, MySQL, and whatnot. As a developer at the Salesforce ecosystem, I'm a mentor doing writing a blogs and community contents. You can find my blogs on mhamza.com. But I'm also the community leader at Karachi for like 3 now managing the architect group. Pakistan driven, one of the conferences that happens in Pakistan, now planning for the hybrid event this year. And at different community in the Dreamforce as well. So last year I spoke at Dreamforce. I also spoke at Not Driven, Not Driven, Automation Driven, and a couple of more as well. I might have conferences. The idea. You can follow me on Twitter. I am emphasized. Yeah, quick intro, and yeah, let's get. So this topic is, I'll try my best to cover most, people who does anything about Scratchbox, including all those developers who's been working on Scratchbox, then they know plenty about it. So who worked on the Scratchbox for a couple of minutes? I mean, 15, 20 minutes so that I can get others in page so that we can start from the getting about the magic of it. What's so for all those people who Scratchbox don't know what about it, so this session is going to be very amazing and very, because I kept everything started from basic and do along with it. So the thing, and also to right inside, if you can see there, and for in-person people, you can talk to them. I don't know how they have done that. So feel free to post your questions right in here, and I'll try my best to answer you. I've seen it. Hold it off, just write questions so that you don't forget it. All right. So the first thing is Sketchdogs. Sketchdogs are new orgs because I went to the Trailhead. I heard about people talking about the Lightning sandboxes. The but now it came as a Scratch orgs. It works, so it's lightning fast. You don't have to wait for the sandboxes to scratch and the publishing and giving the notification creates right instantly, so you don't have to worry about that's the fast way. The next thing I'm to think about the Sketchbox are disposable. Source driven means that your GitHub repository. So whoever has worked on Git, how source is version controlling, the same it works the same way for the schedule. The good thing about it is that this is disposable, not like a typical and it'll stay there until you delete it or refresh it. These sandboxes can be disposed easily and or to keep it for maximum 30 days and minimum 1 day. They are fully configurable, not like your typical sandboxes that once you have created that you have in your production will copy to the sandboxes. It's not like that. Control of it, so you can configure the way that you want, and you can test not just about creating an org for development purposes or any specific task. You can do as well, and the automation testing plus as well. If you are using it, the automation testing, that's the beauty of the Sketch of the Salesforce SFDX, and development tasks directly in your org. And just FYI, Sketch sandboxes, Sketch all the different things. So if you keep using the sandboxes, keep using it. You start using as well because that's the future. That's the way the development cycle is gonna be in the future. Last couple of minutes, I'm gonna talk more about it in the magic. There's it's a source of truth, as I mentioned about the GitHub repository. It's kind of managing your GitHub source of truth through this Sketchflow, and it helps you the CI/CD. Currently, if you keep aside the Sketchflows, typical way in the production org, you have sandboxes. There's no pretty much a room until you have other tools being used. But now with the Sketchflows, I'm gonna show you as well how you can do it. I'm gonna tell more about it. And you can also, even though the Sketchflows has a limit, sandbox has a limit in your production org, right? So when you go into production, try creating a sandbox. You see there's each of the types. So there are 4 types of sandboxes. You may know the first one is develop and the full partial copy and the full copy. There are 4 types of sandboxes. And you may not have the access for the full copy or partial, but probably you have the option for the developer sandbox and the sandbox. But the Sketchflow is a different way. I'm gonna explain to you how you can create multiple orgs. Question, Dev Hub though. Well, there are more benefits to improve the team development and collaboration because there's a limit for the sandboxes, but in the Sketchflow there's more limits. So now you can have a separate org, so there's gonna be a room for development, room for collaboration, of what they be. Modularize your code, as I mentioned. So works for first GP or second GP. That's second packages. Use this Sketchflow for the ICU, and it makes lifecycle more efficiently and it has more agile compared to the sandboxes. The benefits of using Sketchflow. We're gonna go through create Sketchflows. What are the Sketchflows? We have go through to set the Sketchflows, and then we go hands-on. So before diving into that, I'm gonna tell you about a couple of things here. So if you are using your developer org, your Dev Edition, you can keep your 3 active Sketchflows, but you can create Sketchflows. So that means that Sketchflows like its name, Sketchflows, and you can create them and delete them as well, right? You have a daily limit of 6 Sketchflows, but you can only keep 3 active at a time if you are using Dev Edition. But if you are Edition, you can keep 40, and for ultimate 100 and but daily you have a edition. That means if you have 99, you can create one more, and if you delete more of it, you can still create more Sketchflows in a daily base in a day. So the basic have is 200 MB for the data and 50 MB for the file. That's the reason. And I'm going to tell you more about it, how you can keep the dev hub. So this is the feature that you need to enable before getting this schedule. Is a feature in your org DevOps that you need to enable it, and safe though. But this gives you the prompt that if you enable, you cannot disable it. But that's common that you should do it if you haven't. Um, so that's how you can do it. Go to your org, log in your production org, log into your dev edition orgs. Go to setup. So you'll find the option there button like here as you see the screen. So this is a simple image of how you can do it. If you go to search for the dev hub on the top, and you find the dev hub and just enable it. And once you that the button is disabled, so you disable it, this dev hub enable. So once you've done that, you have one step ahead for creating your sketchbox. The next thing you need is VS Code. VS Code is an IDE, is a development that you can use. It's all this by from Microsoft that you can install on your either PC or the Mac OS as well. First install it. It's like a VLC player. It will be different for you. You don't need anything else. Maybe you need Java for a couple of people if you're using the extensions. The for CLI. The links here as well. I'll share the PPT with Amol and the other people so that you can have the access to these URLs. The second thing to say for CLI, CLI is that kind of that you need to install. That's kind of backend thing that you can set up. Is the Salesforce extension pack, which is the add-on for the VS Code. So actually adopted the same features that you use in your Chrome browser. So if browser, you may find that there's an option for you to install the extension of the applications, the Chrome. Same thing happens with the VS Code as well. So there's an option for you to available for the VS, and I'm gonna show you how you can do it. You have installed, look like this. Once you open it, there's an option here that the bricks icon on the left hand side. Extension add-ons. When you click on it, you can search for Salesforce extension pack. Extension pack, you can click on install. So without any disclaimer that you can also install other application as add-ons that may be helpful for your development. And I'm sure that very amazing tool that will really help people speeding their productivity with their development. For you, installing now, this package is getting installed in your VS Code. So I'm going to repeat it. So second thing you need to realize that's also the exe file that you need to set. It's also runnable on next. And once done, now you and install this extension on their VS Code. You don't have to do it every one-time thing. Now you can create sketchbox for different projects for different organizations. And are with me. Let me quickly see if there's any questions for none for now.
We are good. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. All right. Let up on a full throttle speed.
Yeah.
Try to catch up so that we can have a cover an
I think
hour
Maz, I think Maz have a question, one or two.
Okay. I have one or two. Okay.
Because I am fully unaware about these questions and all these things. So, am I audible clearly?
Yeah, you are the.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you mentioned, Hamza, that it, the scratch jobs will expire like from 1 to 30 days. So, um, where will our written code will go after that? Because in the sandboxes, it remains there like forever, and wherever we want, we can deploy that again with the change sets. And first that one, and the second is yeah, again the 30 days thing. CI/CD goes for the continuous development. So if it expires in 30 days, so how does it go like for continuity? So these are my questions.
Great answer then. The first one about the source code. Now the data keeps there until you refresh it or delete it. Or your data has remained yes code project that in your local directory, and you should be using your GitHub repository, your local for project. I'm going to show it to you. You'll get your answer clear right after a couple of hold the test on. But yeah, the is that you should be keeping your source in your GitHub repository to keep your data maintained instead of in keeping your or special. That's typical danger, because if someone refreshes your sandbox, your data goes away, and if Scratchlog expired, there's nothing will bring you anything. I mean, for the sandbox, there's a 2 days option for you to bring supposed to get the backups, but the Sketchup there are no backups. So keep your data on a GitHub repository. Data. Regarding the second question is about the 30 days CI/CD. That's a beauty, and because there's a lot more options Sketchup. So, and with the automation tool, that's kind of one of the magic that I'm going to talk about, that you can create your Sketchups automatically. I'm going to talk more about it later. So I hope this answers your questions. Back to our session. So now you have created, you are ready to create your Sketchbox. Now you need to type command for Mac OS and for PC Control Shift P option that you can do. On the image, the first one is starts with debug. The third and fourth option and fifth option that started with SFDX. That means they're gonna run through the Salesforce CLI, and that's so the first one is create a set project, and third one is create project with manifest. The difference between the project manifest, creating project with manifest will bring your XML files as well, so you can use them. Otherwise, it will work as well. So when project, it will add name and directory where you want to keep it. Once you're done with that, now you need to authorize a dev hub. So running the same Control Shift P, you will see the option. You can also type it like a lookup, just type auth, and you will find the option that authorize a dev hub. Same as your initial setup, you don't have to set up a dev hub every time. It's just one time, and you can have multiple dev hub org in your system. So it doesn't matter that if you have more, you can authorize more. So right now I have 2 on my MacBook right now. I'm going to show it to you as well. So you can keep many. It's a matter of aliasing that you need to set. Once you click on it, it will ask you what you want to keep, and once you enter, it will take you to the login page. You can log into your production where you have enabled the dev hub. Remember first, and when you log in it, your org will be authorized. Now you're now let's talk about how to create Sketchbox. One is to because you installed CLI. The world is now, whole lifecycle is now, even if you use the Node.js and you use, mostly of people are now using the command prompts because that's fast your process. That's easy. It has a lot many things. But now there's another way to use it using the VS Code. I'm going to cover that for people who are getting started with Sketchbox. Create the project. Now type this use the same commands, Control Shift P. You'll find the option get it follow Sketchup. When you click on it, it will ask you the name, what you want to do. After the name, it will option. The default is very important. So this file is package dash scratch dot dash def.json. That comes from the definition that you need to set. So what production? Your production org has final service cloud, sales cloud. Not. You can create your sketch orgs. That's one of the magic though. So you can create a definition org, like only give set up a sketch org which has the community license, and you can define your definition file, the definition file, and once the sketch org will be created, you will find only the community is there, nothing else at all. That's one of the magic. Like, you don't have to worry about having more things. There's one more magic I'm talk about later, but for now, once you definition file, so you don't have to worry about creating this definition file right away, because that comes when you create a new project. So automatically that you installed recently will automatically create those files for you, the basic ones. Once it will ask you the name of the sketch, set a last name, whatever last name you need to set, but just make sure that do not set a duplicate last name, because that will overwrite your last name. Last name is like a unique name, the username of your org. Just keep it as you have a different org name. Although you can set the same name once expired, but do not set the last name. The other one will remove from your local system. But you can also track your sketch logs in the dev hub as well. I'm going to talk more about it as well. So it doesn't about you have one dev hub that is authorized on a different PCs because a sketch logs created in your system, but it is actually linked with your dev hub, so you can go to the dev hub org and see how many sketch logs are created. All right, so the last part is for how many number of days to keep your sketch log. The minimum is 1 and the maximum is 30. So, and default is 7 though. So enter the number of days that you keep it, and once you enter it, the sketch will be created. Let's and this time my entire screen because I need to code and other couple of things. So I'm starting my screen, and feel free to post your questions if you have. Rod, how do we upload the configuration necessary data in a script and that we automated? Yes, that can be automated. More. Okay, sharing the entire screen. Okay, it's not letting me do it because that's all. Okay, let me try the other way. Let me try sharing the window. All right. I think. Can you see the VS? No. Okay. So baby share anything other than the browser. Strange.
There should be an option to share your entire screen. If you see the tab, there should be
Yeah.
a third tab that says entire screen.
Yeah, I'm trying that, but the baby is showing me some error. Let me try. Let me try restarting my browser. So anywhere I'm gonna rejoin in a second.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, I am back.
Thank you.
Let me try sharing the screen. Still no option. All right, let me try one more time. If it works, then okay. Otherwise, I'll go with the plan B.
Sure, that's fine. No worries. Thank you.
Okay, I think it worked.
Okay, cool.
It worked. Yeah, it worked. Okay, great. So yeah, here we go. So once you install your VS Code, can you guys see my screen, right?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm gonna keep it as a full screen. All right. So once you have opened the VS Code, so there's an option for you on the left hand side which says extension. Click on it and you make sure that you have Salesforce extension pack installed. There are plenty of other application extensions that I'm using on my projects, so that we can utilize them as well. So the first thing you need to do, remember, is the Command Shift P. There's an option for you to create project. Create project with manifest. I like it because that's give me the package example file. I can do manipulation as well. Click on it. It'll ask me the name. On the bottom, you can see there's an activation going on. Okay, the template I need to select is keep it standard. The project name is um, event test project. Okay, you don't have to keep the project name, but yeah, just project. Okay, and it's asking me where to keep it. Just keep it in the documents for now. Awesome. So as you can see that now I have the project created. On the left hand side, we have a Force app, and there are a couple of folders created automatically because I selected the descended template. Do you guys think that I need to zoom a little bit, or is that okay? Guys can see it.
I think we can see. Or do you want?
Okay. Okay, perfect. So you guys can see it. So let's talk about a couple of very important things. The first thing is that sfdx project.json file. This JSON file is pretty important because it is giving you the project information to the you recently created. So you can see that it is mentioning the package directory, that's Force app, which is right here, and that's default. You can also have multiple folders containing different project files. The name that I've set recently while creating this project, The namespace is blank because that's created recently. There's an option for the SFDS login URL. Currently is login. I can keep it the other way. And the source API version is 56. For the people who don't know what this API is, so considering that if you're using your Android or iPhones, you can see that there are different versions coming up every year. So right now, if you talk about the Android, there's a 13 going on, and 14 is in a developer preview. Same as that, Salesforce releases three releases in a year, and that's actually the release number. So 56 is one of the release numbers. The next one is 57, 58, and the future goes on. So keep your version number very unique. I mean, be specific what version number you are using. So consider, let's just say there's a new features coming up in the next release, and you want to try it, but you are using the API version lower than that. That functionality will not work for you. So make sure that the version, which version are you using. All right, so this is the SFDS project, and this is the Force app folder containing all the project files. So your classes will come up in here, your flexi pages, your layouts, your electric components, your objects and their fields, and there are more folders that you can have, like static resources and whatnot. But we need to cover this one. So under config, you see there is a project definition file automatically created, as I mentioned earlier. If you click on it, the org name is Hamza Company because I mean Hamza Company is the default for this PC. The edition is developer. You can also set unlimited. You can also set enterprise. This for you to set your configuration. The features is very important. The features is actually, this is the configuration file that you can define yourself what kind of scratch you need, what kind of org you need. So it can right now the feature is that enable set passwords in API, so that API we can set the password through it. And you can also set more features. I'm going to talk a little more about it here in 1 second. The more thing that you can do is setting your lacking experience sites. You can get S1 dev org. The while setting should be encrypted and more. Let's go through a quick review of other JSON files. So here I have one. Here you go. So if you can see here, let me zoom it a little bit. So this is one of the definition files I created recently. I mean, not recently, but yeah, a while ago. So the org name is MJ Setup, Mary Jane Scratch. Okay. The edition is partner developer. The edition partner developers, if you are the consulting or the IC partner, you can create your partner developer. So you see that what's the difference. So in a VS Code, I found there's only developer, but here in this catalog is a partner developer. The difference between developer and a partner developer is that the basic developer gives you 20 MB of data, but the partner developer gives you 200 MB of the data. So that's pretty good to have your everything. I mean, the addition of partner developer. You can also have partner enterprise, your partner limited, to have more data in your scratchbox. The next thing you see is that the features. That's one of the magics. So no, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, so maybe your production has different licenses, but you only need communities, right? So you can keep the communities here. So adding communities here means that if you know that if you need to create your new experience site, you have to go to experience site and setting and enable it before creating a new one. But by setting this communities here, that option will automatically be enabled, right? Same goes with other things. Contacts multiple accounts, that automatically will be created. Person accounts, that's a favorite one. So let's just say you are working on some project that needs a person accounts to be tested. Don't do it in production. You need to set up a sandbox, either a scratch. So for the old folks, that person account was not easy to enable. You had to lock a case. But now, from the thanks to the Salesforce, it has now given us the option to enable it for ourselves. And once you have enabled it, you cannot disable it. For the people who don't know what a person account is, so Salesforce has a basic object like account and the contacts. So let's just say someone is working on the Coca-Cola company, and let's just say I'm from the Coca-Cola company. Coca-Cola company is going to be the account, and Hamza will be the contact, having the personal information about me. But let's just say about someone who is a single person. Let's just Hamza. Hamza is coming is not as a business account, but as a personal account. How you gonna store it in Salesforce? Because my personal information like that comes under the contact object. Let's just say you want to keep my email address. Account object doesn't have the email address field. So Either you're gonna create account record and the same content record. There's gonna be a duplication of the same record, right? So that comes a new feature called person account. That's not a huge feature, but a unique feature that people use is a person account. You have to enable it, but remember, you cannot disable it. You create a person account. So once you create a person account, that creates another record type for account object. And when you try creating a new account record, it will ask you which account you need to create. If it's a person account, if you click on person account, that will combine all the fields that you have in a contact and account object in one, and gives you the visibility and the allowance to set up one account as a person account. So you can keep my personal information there, and that's going to be the individual record type for you on account object. That's one of the feature that you can use. And for that, you don't have to worry about setting up the scratch sandbox, enabling it there, and test the functionality. You can simply give the person account here in the scratch and bingo, that's it. The new org will automatically have the person accounts enabled. Isn't it? It is fantastic. The next thing in this definition, I mean, this is one of the sample definitions. There are gonna be different, definition you can find. There's also a link where you can find all those features that you can define in the sketchbox. The other one is industry's action plan. The action plan features the document checklist actions, the features licenses. There's also financial services users. Give me 10 licenses or FSC. Isn't it pretty amazing? You can also use the powder as well. So you can have powder licenses. That's one of the magic. So even though you don't have financial service cloud into production, but you can spin a sandbox, a sketchbox, having that license, right? You can see me smiling and see how interesting it is. And there's a couple of more licenses, like finances community users. Give me 10 licenses of this, the 10 licenses of this, and also the flow sites. That's flow sites is something that you need to enable in your org. There are a couple of things as well here in the below. I'm gonna talk about. I think that's pretty straightforward. But yeah, security settings. You can also set the security policies. Maybe the passive policies that you should be having 8 digits of code that contains the capital letter in the hashtag something. You and this is the one as well. So the structure that you're creating should also have the community site settings enabled. The settings that the structure that you're spinning up should also have the record type default to person account, because if you create a person account, you have to modify your profile to set the default record type. But if you give the object permissions, this is one of the examples how you can do it. So if you give the object settings and the accounts, automatically your profile will have the person accounts. You can also do your permission set as well. So as soon as the new sketchbook spins up, assign this permission set to your user. All right. So this is one of the things that you can do. Now coming back to the VS Code, the hands-on. So this is the definition file that you can use. We can run either commands or the command prompt in the VS Code. So Command Shift P is an option for me to create a scratch org. It is asking me the definition file. Okay, yeah, you keep using this definition file. Enter the name that you want to do, and the last is keep it. I'm not gonna run it through the to the command quickly. 1 second. I do have in here. Copy this for sake of time and run it here. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, feel free to post your questions in the chat window. I'm gonna keep it name is like test event org. All right. So what I'm doing is using the command, calling the sfdx force org create. I mean create a new org. F means the definition file. Uses definition file that we currently has. Let's set the person account here and one of the features. Right. So uses definition file. Alias name should be test event org, and use the default username. That default username I'm going to explain to you in a second. And the D means number of days, so keep it 30. As you can see that on the right bottom or left bottom, it says change default org. So no default org set, right? But using this set default username, the project that you created will automatically be assigned to this org as a default org. Once you click enter, the command will run and will create the orgs. And if you want to see how many orgs that you have, Oh, I'm sorry. So I'm going to open a terminal and write the command sfdx force org list and all means show me everything that I have in a list, how many orgs I have authorized. So meanwhile our org is running, I'm going to show you to you. So here you can see the number of orgs that I have set up and how many sketch logs I do have. So you can see that there are different alias names, there are different usernames, how many are deleted and expired, and how many are active and when they will be expired. So here's the complete list of anything that you can see. And let's see, let's just wait for this creation and coming back to the window and see if you have any questions for me. Okay, there's none. So meanwhile, our sketch was created. Okay, perfect. So you can see that sketch has been created. You can see how quickly it has been created instead of as compared to the sandbox. You have to wait for a couple of minutes and the email will come to you. So now if I run the same command again to see how many sketch logs are there, and plus you can see that this test org already has been set as a default. The beautiful thing about the beautiful thing about this org is that here you go. We have this in right in here test event org with the username ID is active, and it will expire on 13th of March. I set 30 days for it. I'm going to delete it right after the session. So, um, if coming back to the VS Code, you can see that is right in here. Now I have the VS Code set up ready, right? The SketchUp ready. So I don't how do I get to log into on this? That's pretty simple. Through the command, you can do sfdx force org open, and with the dash u, enter the alias name, or whatever that's the name we have done. So here we did test. The alias name was test event org, or as this is the default org in your project, you don't have to mention it here. Just enter it. You will find that your org will open, or you can also click this small icon right in here, open org. If I open it, it will not ask me to log in, enter your username, password, although you can generate a username, password. Here you can see the window has been open and the sketch org is ready. And it will take me to the setup page where I will have this person account enabled. You can set up your different stuff as well as we mentioned. So it's pretty simple, right? To respect the time, coming back to my presentation, because there's a lot more things I need to discuss with you. So this was the hands-on how to create a sketch log. Now let's come to the best part, is the magic of sketch logs. The first one we did already covered. So pre-configuration that you can do pretty much pre-configurations. We have seen a demo as well that how you can create an org having a person account enabled. You can also do many things automatically. I'm going to show you how you can do the other things. The next thing was licenses. We also covered that, how you can have your how can you can have a different licenses in your org automatically, even though your production doesn't. The next is org shape. That's a pretty decent example. So org shape is one of the features in this tab. You have open it, and org shape is what you do usually in a sketch log. So in a sketch log, it's a pretty pre-configurable, right? So let's just say you want to have a same as what you have in production. So currently, if you think about sketch logs, you have to define each and everything in the definition file to match what you have in production. You don't need to do it because you can use org shape instead of the configuration feature section in the configuration file. You just need to provide the ID of the org, and the new sketch org will be created as what the licenses and everything that you currently have in production. So this is one of the features that you can use called org shape. And regarding the license, if you go into my blog, you will find there's an option for you as well. On my blog, you'll find that there's an option for you to enable the partner license in the scratch logs, even though your production doesn't have it. How you can do it is adding your partner under the features, and there are a couple of settings that you need to do in the settings sections. Once the setup or once the org will be set up, you will find the partner license there as well. The next thing is the add-ons. That's one of the most important thing and very great thing. So if you Google and search for SFDX GitHub add-ons, you will find many add-ons available. That also answers one of the questions from Mars. So let me talk about it. So this GitHub repository has different plugins. You can install different plugins made by different people. That means it enhances, like, example of having a Chrome browser. So you need to do a couple of things. You can install the extension. Same as if you need any more features, there are plenty of open source SFDS plugins available that you can use and utilize for data collection, for analytics, for your code scanner, for many things. So if you read the list of here, right, if I zoom it a little bit, so the first one is Falcon, that's for templating and the framework for ISVs. ISVT, that's full tools for ISVs. Analytics, that's command for analytics APIs that you can do through the SFTX. Just write the commands and bingo. You can use SFTX scanner that runs the quality and security checks using PMD on the current code that you have. And similarly, there are many plugins that you can use to download the data and extract the data and import the data in your new orgs. So the life cycle is going to be in the way. In the next magic, I'm going to talk about it. So one of the add-ons and is scripting. That's one of the things that you can do. You can write the script. Coming back to my GitHub repository, here I have one script written. So this is the batch script for PCs. So once you run it, there's like a BAT file on your desktop. Just run it. Just give this BAT file to anyone. The person will run it and will enter the alias name, one of the features that I've given. Once the license is given, the new sketch will be created. So after running the sketch just sit back and relax because it's gonna do everything for you. You know, creating a new sketch One sketch is created, it will install the package. It will install the another package. You can give many packages here as well. It will push the data that you currently have in your directory to that sketch assign the different licenses to the user that is recently created, generate the password for you, and open up the org. So you can do the scripting, and it's easy as well. So you can do multiple tasks. You can export the data, import the data from production, give many things to that if you have anything ready. So how the life cycle with respect to the DevOps is that once a task is sent to you, you need to build some automation on the account object. The sketch automatically will be created using the DevOps. That's the CI/CD. This thanks to the Salesforce CLI and the DevOps. The new sketch will be created, and the developer will be assigned. Let's just say I'm a developer. Developer will be assigned the task. I'm gonna open the sketch org, do my development. As this is source tracking, I will the only things needs to be changed that has been changed will push to another sketch org for the QA for the UAT. Once I push the changes to the sketch org, new org will be created. Next, another sketch org will be created. It will be assigned to the QA for the UAT. He will run for the QA. He will run the QA, and is everything okay? He will push OK button from any functionality of the DevOps. You can do automate, and new sketch will be opened up for the UAT for your customers and for your clients for the stakeholders to test the functionality of the new things. And as this is source tracking, only the change, let's just say you have 30 FS classes in your org and you have made a change in a single line. Only that change will be pushed. It will work same as version controlling in a GitHub. That only will be pushed instead of complete org metadata. That doesn't work in the set boxes and the chain sets. So the last and one of the best magic is the automation. So if you can do the scripting, you can do automation as well. You can run this batch on the Windows task. So every write after 30 days, when the sketch expired, you don't have to worry about creating a new one. That automatically can create multiple things for you, and you just have to sit back and come back again and do your stuff working as you do.
So I have one question here, not question exactly. So as the scratch org licensing is not dependent on your original org, you can add more licenses to it, more add-ons to it. So imagine if you have created a scratch org, you did your implementation on example Pardot, but you don't have Pardot purchased in your original org. So in order to deploy those changes, the customizations you made, you need to have the licensing in your original org as well, right?
That's right.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's correct. Yeah, because if you try to deploy the changes to your production or any of sandbox, it doesn't have that feature enabled. Definitely, you will get the errors,
Right.
right? So that's the beauty of it. I mean, you're not actually exploiting the features. You're actually trying it out. It's kind of a setting up a trial for yourself.
Right.
Doing your practices. Maybe you have a POC to run. Maybe you have something. Okay, some solution available in online. Okay, you need to try enabling a personal account, but you cannot do it in a production, right? So you can spin up a new scratch log for 1 day or 2 days, do your POC, making sure everything will work with this solution. If that work, make your changes, push to production. That's gonna be the case. I think its time is up. So that was the last thing on my end as well. So the last thing I want to say is thank you so much for joining. And if you have any questions, feel free to post here on a chat. I'm gonna answer it. And there are other things as well I wanted to talk, but yeah, right now
So
that's pretty much.
yeah, I think Hanif and Maz have questions, but yeah, but
Yeah.
Hamza, like this is like really cool, and thank you so much for giving a session an hour of your valuable time. I'm sure it's like 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. there, so I really appreciate from Stanford Developer Group. And Hanif and Maz, if you have any questions, maybe you can just ask or post quickly.
Yes, I have two questions. So, when we are creating a scratch of, what will it takes our configurations and the code from the production, or it will be a completely scratch off?
It will be a
That is my
complete
first
sketch log.
question.
You have to, yeah, that's a good question. So by creating a sketch log means scratch. That the only configuration that you have set, the org will be created. You still have to push the sources that you have. And the good thing about is that you don't have to worry about pushing everything. So let's just say I am creating a new class here. Okay. So let's just say you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. So creating a new Apex class here, testing the name test Hamza. Okay. Keeping in the name test Hamza for now and pushing that. So now the test class test Hamza had nothing. Okay. But I can push that. There are two ways for pushing it. One is that I run the whole command sfdx force source that's fine source push, keeping the file name here and adding the related path. Okay, this path should be deployed. That's one thing. If I push it, the class will be pushed right away. Let me try. Let me give it to you the example. Okay, there's
Okay.
a
And I got it. And its dependent item will also be validated. So maybe we require to deploy the whole
yeah.
manifest,
I'm
right?
sorry. Sorry.
Okay,
No, no,
got it.
that's one thing. Let me give you the example. This is one of the things that's one of the features as well. So if you deploy it, the class will be deployed, right? But consider it. Let's just say, if the class is deploying, if I create another class, right? Let's name it Hamza 2, all right? And the class is created here on my local PC. It's not pushed yet, right? So the command I ran last time, what it was, sfds force deploy. But this time, let me try push, source push. So there are two commands: source push and pull, similarly to what you have on your usually working with Git. So I'm not defining anything. I'm just using push. You will find that only class Hamza2 will be pushed because through the source tracking, Scratchrock and the VS Code knows that test Hamza has been pushed already and there's no change in there. So right now I'm just running push. I'm not defining any Apex class. So it will automatically track, okay, what has been pushed there, and only the change will be pushed, right? So it is saying that, okay, that
Okay.
test class is already there. There's a context. Okay, just do it force. So that's one of the magic. Although, yeah, to your question, yeah, you still should have your everything data right in here. As you can see, that only Hamza 2 has been deployed, not test Hamza, because that's already been pushed. So that's how the source tracking works in the sketchout. That's pretty amazing.
Okay. And my second question was, since we you showed us adding the pardot feature, even though we do not have the licenses. So I think we can also.
Um, I think you're disconnected.
Yeah, yes, voices.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's better now.
My question is like Pardot feature. Can we also enable Einstein analytics even though we do not have licenses?
Yeah, there's a couple of things that you need to do. Just Google it and search for Scratch org features. So Scratch org features
Okay.
on the Google, and you will find a list of features right in here. So there's settings that we can do using this. Follow this URL, and if I click on Scratch org features, here's a list of things that you can do. I'm not sure if you can set up the Einstein, but yeah, I'm sure that Pardot can. Einstein can as well. So, giving you the example how you can do it, you can set up the multi-currency, the author apex, and whatnot. And okay, I think it's working. So you can set up the API, you can have author apex, whoever's creating the apex class should be. There's a list of things that you can do, and there's a pretty great huge list. You can see, you can set up record types and whatnot. There's a lot of things. So you can search for scan of feature, and you will find this URL.
Okay. Thank you, Hamza.
No worries. Mars, do you have any question for me?
Yes, Samsung. One thing that as we were talking about, the Scratch orgs are uh, extensively is used for the CI/CD. So Salesforce has something called DevOps Launchpad. So,
Yeah.
where does that come in all of this? Like, does it collaborate with the Scratch org, or does it, is it being used instead of the GitHub repository? So I just want to know that.
If I say that the Salesforce Dev Hub, or DevOps feature just waited for Sketchfab to be enabled, so that will not be wrong because now you can use the DevOps feature to use the Sketchbox with respect to your development. So the example of you creating tasks and setting up your Sketchbox that comes with the DevOps. So maybe the next time I may run the one of the session for the DevOps how you can configure your Sketchbox and automate through DevOps. You will get the more idea how the CI/CD works, especially with the Sketchbox and the GitHub as well.
Cool. Thank you.
No worries. Awesome.
Okay.
So Amol, do we have any questions from the in-person
No,
attendees?
I think we are good, and I think we have taken enough of your time, and we are already over 7 minutes. So I really appreciate your time, and thank you so much, and hope to see you soon, maybe in Dreamforce.
Yeah, for sure. I'm applying for the Dreamforce, so yeah, we'll look forward to meet you. And thank you, Amel and Monica, for arranging it. And I'm sure that many people will be beneficial after this
Yes.
session. So try using your sketchbox and let me know. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. All right. Thank you so
Thank you
much,
so
Amol.
Thank you,
Enjoy your
guys.
meal. Bye.
Thanks everyone for